This is the Cowboys Show. I'm your man, T. Drape.
And I am Coach T. We are I-70 Entertainment, straight from Columbus, Ohio. What up, Cowboy Nation?
What up, my man, Coach C? How you doing, baby?
Man, I am good. How you, man?
I'm a little bit better, man. I'm a little bit better spirit-wise than our last show.
Yes, sir.
Cowboys Nation, this is week 7. We're back at you. Of course, this is our bye week. We wanted to hop back on and just kind of take a look at the where we're at, going into this bye week or currently in the bye week. Take a look at, more importantly, how we can get better as a team.
Coming out the bye week now.
Yeah. Coming out of it, getting ready for this 49ers game.
Yes, sir.
Tell you what, it's a good thing that we're not the only team that's experiencing a lot of injuries. I tell you, man, looking at that 49ers game.
Yes, sir.
They lost a lot of bodies. Their body count went up.
Oh, yeah, absolutely.
And it wasn't just no average Joes. They lost some key players. So they'll be going into the game. Injury update from our side.
Ain't gonna get no tears from us about that.
No, nobody. Nobody cares.
No, sir.
But on the injury side, just a quick Dallas Cowboys update. I was reading that Jerry Jones on 105.3 The Fan, his favorite show. He reported that Deron Bland and Michael Parsons both are going to be game time decisions. So we are not going to report on here as we've done every week. Seems like we've said somebody is coming back because the early report was that those guys would be back. I don't know if Carson is back. I don't have a report on him at all.
We ain't gonna say nothing.
We ain't going to say nothing. The only thing we know is that boss man, Jerry Jones.
I thought you about to say boss man Pat. I was about to say, oh, no.
No, boss man Jerry Jones, the one and only. He's on 105.3. He's the injury update guy, and he does it all. So according to him, we won't know this until a game time situation.
He got too many jobs, man. He need to let go of at least one or two of them.
I know one he definitely needs to let go of.
Oh, yeah, Jim. Yeah, absolutely.
Yeah. Well, we're not going to make this show about him.
No, sir.
We kind of had our pity party and our rant last
I'm gonna
week.
say something. I'm gonna try to mention him every show, man, because I'm tired of this. You know what I mean? Yeah, it's time. It's time for any organization to move on from a general manager. You know what I mean?
And any organization would, but we're
unique.
we're a unicorn, baby. We're a unicorn.
Oh my goodness! Yeah.
So let's just talk. We're not gonna keep you guys long today. We just want to hop in and break bread with you. Hop on real quick.
Yeah.
To talk about Mike McCarthy. Mike McCarthy in his press conference. A couple of things that I'll talk about. Let's talk about first about Troy Aikman. Troy Aikman, who is a champion, Super Bowl champion, one of the top quarterbacks to ever wear the star. I don't know if he is the top quarterback, but one of them.
Oh yeah.
And I value his opinion. And this guy has a job where he has to break down film to get prepared for his job. And he noted seeing some things with the Cowboys receivers. Just saying that he doesn't see anything from the Cowboy receivers. They're not running routes hard. They're not coming off the ball. Their transition out of the routes is not good. Noted that guys are not really running hard or showing what they need to show unless they know they're going to get the ball. So I know I've read some things from Von Turpin, Mike McCarthy kind of sounded off a little bit today. My thing is if you have a guy who definitely his heart is still with the Cowboys, regardless of what job he has now, I think you have to give him some credit. When that guy says something, I want to know, maybe that's truth. Let's take a look at it, maybe get better, not be so defensive. I'd like to get your take on it.
Yeah, he's a Hall of Famer. I mean, he knows the game. He knows what he's looking for. He had one of the greatest wide receivers. He threw to one of the greatest wide receivers in the game, in Michael Irvin. And he knows how hard Michael Irvin worked on every play, whether he got the ball or not. And as a quarterback, I think that's where he and Dak differ. He was demanding. He was demanding of your best, And Dak, it seems like he's a team guy. I don't think he wants to ruffle too many feathers.
Yeah.
Because he could very well, being the leader of the team, call some people out.
Yeah.
And he might, maybe that's what he should be doing, as long as he's doing what he needs to do.
Yeah. Yeah. I totally agree with you, Coach. And like I said, there's sometimes you have to value your veterans and guys that have been there. And these are guys that who've just not just played the game, but they played it at the highest level and they've also won.
Yeah.
Multiple. So
absolutely,
I would, me myself, I've been looking at the tape, and it just seems like some of the routes, it just doesn't seem like they're the same kind of routes that you're seeing other teams run. And, maybe it's something where our guys just have to just be, be cautious of that. You know what I mean? Just take it in stride, but, try to work and get better because, evidently what we're doing right now is not working. So I just wanted to get that out the way.
Yeah.
Another thing Mike McCarthy was talking about his position right now as a 3-3 football coach, history-wise, coming out of 3-3, at least with the Dallas Cowboys, he has had success after bye weeks. And so we're hoping as a family, Cowboy family, that can stay the same and that he can come back out after this bye.
Right. What's his? You got his overall record out the bye, or with the Cowboys?
I'll take a look at it, Coach. I'm gonna see if I can pull that up real quick while we keep going.
Oh, okay. I thought you had it. Yeah, I thought you
I
mentioned
did
like 12
earlier.
and 5 or something like that.
Yeah.
Coming out of bye weeks, 3-1 with the Cowboys.
I think that's what it was, Coach. I'll check it just to be sure, but I think that is right.
Yeah. So, for his sake, he has to have us ready. I mean, for how we looked last game, I'm expecting something different. I mean, it's not a whole lot that we can possibly change as far as scheme-wise, but I'm expecting, like you say, Troy Aikman called the receivers out. I'm expecting guys to go a lot harder. And it's the 49ers. We saw how hard Detroit went against us after, last year when, the refs blew a call and they lost. They came back with a vengeance like we're trying to beat youngins. And I'm expecting the same thing from the 49ers. They're a little beat down. They've got two of the top 3 receivers are out for sure, I believe. And Juwan Jennings, I believe, is questionable. So that leaves George Kittle. I mean, is that in the George Kittle's? Yeah.
George Kittle,
George Kittle.
I think he might even be on the IR. It was something with him too, I thought.
Okay.
George Mason, the running back, he suffered a shoulder. He did play last week, but he's not up to full speed. Just on that Mike McCarthy thing, just to set that straight, as a head coach, McCarthy's 12-5 in games immediately following the break and 3-1 during the tenure with the Cowboys.
Right. Yeah. Absolutely.
So
I thought that's what you said.
That's you were absolutely right.
Yeah. So we're expecting. Tell me something, though.
Yes, sir.
I know we didn't discuss this, but give me something that you would like to see, coming out the bye week, something different from us. Like I said, not so much of scheme, but what do you want to see from us to say, oh, okay, we put some time in. Okay, we really did put some work in.
I think just, to me, I think it could be a lot simpler. I just would like to see them commit to the run. Maybe even get away from some of them zone schemes and things that you do in the running game and maybe just put hat on hat. Maybe make it a little bit more simpler for these guys. I would just like to see us stick to more of a running game and let the running game then set up things rather than as soon as there's a storm or anything that goes bad out there, then you immediately, you start tossing the ball all over the yard.
Absolutely. No, I'm definitely with you. There's definitely no commitment to the run game. And there's no commitment to the running back. I mean, you hear all the talking heads saying we don't have anybody. We got the worst. I'm not saying they're wrong, but I want to see Rico. I mean, build off of – he's averaging over 4 yards a carry for the season, man. I want to see him build. I want to see what he can do. He had 20 carries and 87 yards against the number 1 defense when they played.
Yeah.
He's averaging 4.2 yards a carry this year, but he's only got 59 carries in 6 games.
That's a great point, Coach. You go into this season with not having a true identity at running back, so you're trying to find that guy. And when a guy steps up and he starts to lead like that, then you got to follow him. Give him another chance at it. And I really think once they look back at it, I think they probably say, we probably got away from Rico, and we got to get back to that. That's what I'm hoping. That's what I'm hoping.
I'm with you there, man.
Another thing that I heard, and this is Mike McCarthy saying that he feels like that the team is too compartmentalized, meaning that there's too many segments between groups. So you know how you have your offensive line that are practicing, they're doing their thing, they got their own film. You got your wide receivers. He says he feels like that's a problem, that he thinks that those guys need to spend more time together as a unit. That way, we play together, we feed off each other rather than trying to bring everything together like on a Thursday,
Right.
and then having full team offense.
So you're talking about position groups instead of position groups watching it together, the whole offense.
Not just watching it together and just practicing more. Because like if like as far as an NFL practice or even college, these guys break down and they practice by position. So you'll spend time with your secondary coach going through drills. Linebackers spend time with their linebacker coaches. Same thing with D-line. And then you have periods where linebackers and the D-line will come together. Mm-hmm. Then you have 7-on-7 receive. Just playing more together as a unit, seeing if that can maybe get some cohesiveness, bringing the team more closer together. I mean, at this point, it's just trying things, you know what I mean?
I'm trying to understand why he made the comment, since he's the guy who makes the practice plans up.
I think that's what he's maybe alluding to, that is something that he would like to change in his process. To see if maybe he can get – yeah. But I think that, it was just one of the things that, it was a question that came to him in a press conference and saying, what things over the bye can you do maybe to turn things around and get the team moving in the right direction? So I'm with anything that's positive. And if he feels like that may be something that maybe there's a gap or something where, maybe the team is not all on the same page, maybe that might help. Just something I'm reporting that, that they're trying to change.
Yeah, got to figure some things out. So you're going to try anything, man.
Yeah.
You
got to.
Yeah. Absolutely.
To try to get a different outcome. Another thing I wanted to kind of talk about was the run struggles. And do you actually think, though, and this is another thing Jerry was talking about, Derrick Henry, conversation coming, no sense of even talking about spoiled milk, but they're talking about what would the situation be like, if Derrick Henry actually had came there. Do you think that the running game would be different with a lead guy like that being in your backfield? Or do you think the struggles would be with anybody behind that offensive line?
I think it would be good because they would give him the ball. And if you're going to get the ball, he's going to break something. He's not going to average 2 yards a carry. Mm-hmm. Yeah. Freaking Rico, like we said, is 4 yards a carry. So I definitely think he can find some creases and make his own way if he was. I mean, he's an elite back. Everybody thought he was washing. He's got it's 2 games now. He's almost got 200 or over 200 yards.
Yeah, that's a great point, Coach. That is a great point. I'm going to switch to you and just throw you a question. Mm-hmm. On the other side of the ball, Mike Zimmer. Mm-hmm. If you're Mike Zimmer, what can you do to get this thing turned around from a defensive standpoint? You're the coordinator. What are you doing during this bye week that you feel like you can maybe get this defense back on square ground?
I'm going to throw it back to you. You're the defensive guy. You're the D1 defensive player. So I want to hear what you say. I mean, with me, my novice opinion is like, and you got to go back to film. You got to go back to the basics. I mean, that week we should spend on the very basics: run fits, knowing your gaps, filling your gaps. It has to be the basics, man. And that, like I said, that's my novice opinion. But what we're doing is not it. And you can't change the whole scheme in a week.
Right.
So you got to go back to the basics, to the very fundamentals of this game, man, and just work.
Yeah, I'm totally with you. You're down personnel-wise. You're a new coach coming in. You got new schemes and everything. I remember early in the year they were talking about all of the different schemes that Zimmer had, and he had only touched a few of them. Mm-hmm. I mean, maybe only one of them. Learn something that you can play in a base that you feel comfortable with, that guys are going to get lined up and they're going to be in the right positions, and they can give themselves the best chance and best opportunity to make plays.
But my bad.
No. Go ahead.
But Zimmer has to get confidence because he said against Detroit what he got. What did he say?
He said he got a little nervous.
Got a little nervous
and changed things up.
Absolutely.
Sticking with his game plan.
Absolutely.
He started throwing darts at the board. Is what he basically. That's how I interpreted it.
Come on,
he didn't know how to stop that leak.
Yeah, he started.
He had a big hole.
He started throwing everything
for that,
man.
Right.
Yeah, he's been in the game too long to be, getting nervous and not having a plan B or whatever. Even though, I mean, I don't.
Yeah.
Guys got to play.
It got to, man. It's kind of,
But you got to put them in position to make.
You got to, and it's kind of a roller coaster, and that's why I alluded to our last show. If anybody just watched the last 2 episodes, we came on here so high on the Cowboys coming off that Pittsburgh game, and then the next episode, like I said, it seemed like it was a funeral. And what I'm going to hope, Cowboy Nation, is that game was just, it was just a game that we just missed. We just missed, and that team had our number. Now, the good thing is that we have a good opportunity to come back and play against a team who's owned you. Yeah. For the last few seasons. And now you have a chance to bounce back. And who knows? You get that game against the 49ers, you get everybody back healthy, and we could be talking about how that Detroit game was the game that turned everything around.
Turned everything around? Yeah.
Turned everything around.
Let's hope. Let's hope for the best.
That's all we got.
Yes, sir.
That's all we got, Coach. So we talked about some injuries. We talked about some things on the offensive side of the ball. We're not going to keep you long here, Cowboy Nation. Let's kind of wrap things up. Anything else you want to talk about, or anything you see going into this week 8 that you would like to see from the Cowboys?
I'm a broken record. Stop the freaking run.
Stop the run
and run the ball.
And don't forget about the one thing that we really can control.
What's that?
Is them damn penalties.
Oh, come on,
penalties.
Don't do that.
That's something that we can control. Just being disciplined.
It's discipline. Yeah.
That's it. I wish Mike would have said that when he was talking about some of that. How the way we do our practice and bringing people together. But that's one thing you can control that.
Absolutely.
Absolutely. I mean? So I think that's it. But Cowboy Nation, we just wanted to touch base with you here on this bye week. Just let you know it was a tough week. We're back. We're positive. The outlook moving forward, and let's go get these Niners. Coach, I'm going to let you take us out as always.
Man, as always, man, one love. One love.
We'll be back next week, Cowboys fans.